Hello lovelies, it's Shani Haynes here. I'm going to show you how, oopsie, sorry about that. I'm going to show you how I made this cute little invitation book using the Monster Bash DSP, which is, got the wiggles here, which is the current catalogue coming out. This is week 4 of me for 12 weeks of Halloween, and I'm having a ball. I'm really excited about this little project. So I've put some little creepy crawlies inside, little bottle, and the actual invitation. I'm actually hosting a Halloween party with a lot of my customers who are also great friends. Every year, every second year I do one. And then there's more of the designer series paper. So I will show you step by step how I made this. I'll start with the actual book box, and this isn't my design of how to make the actual box. I got it from scrapgirltypenotepad.com, and I've just turned it into a Halloween, but you could use it for any sort of book or display. So the first thing you'll need, and I do apologise it's in black. I know it's always hard seeing tutorials in black. It drives me nuts because it's very hard to see. Is the book cover itself is 9.5 by 6 inches, and you score it 4 1/4 and 5 1/4 down the middle here, as you can see. Of course, okay. And then for the actual box, the base, it's 6 inches by 7.5 inches, and I've scored on all 4 sides 1 inch in. Okay, and the next, to get that finished, that sort of creamy or white sort of book pager look, I used a really old chunky paintbrush. The wider and the bristlier is the better. And I also, where's my paint? Oh, here. And I just used some creamy craft paint. It doesn't really matter what brand or where you get it. And I'll just put a little bit on here. I've wet my paintbrush and dried it off with some paper towel. So I'm not too fussy how I do this. I just sort of brush it along all the edges. Sort of the rougher you do it, the possibly the more page-like you get. And you don't need to do the corners because they'll be hidden. It's quite quick to dry. You can use your embossing heat tool if you want to dry it quicker. I've got a fair few of these to make, so I'm not in a rush at all actually. Okay, put that in some water, get that out of the way. So I'll leave him to dry somewhere away from my work. And with your cover, you just need to score on your 2 fold lines. Like so. Then you'll need a piece of designer series paper for your front. Okay, now I did have the measurements written down. Oh, here we are. There it is. So it's 5 3/4 by 4/4. end up with something like this. So now we're going to stamp the front. I used the Raven. I loved all the fonts. I love the branch. And because I'm going to emboss this on the front cover, as you can see, it's all embossed. Get a far deeper effect than if you just stamped it. I've placed all my stamps where I want them to go on my paper. So he goes up in the front. There's your embossing body. And I'm using Versamark. And what I'm going to do is do all the stamps at once. So ink them all up. I'm using the black embossing powder. And this is quite magic because you really cannot see anything until you start to sprinkle. Okay, there we are. I know where we are now. You can go and heat it up with your heat tool so it sets. I've actually gone ahead and done that already. Where is he? Here he is. So that's all set. That's all done now. And then, but before we glue him on, don't forget, I've got 2 pieces of the new basic black scalloped edge ribbon. Roughly 10.5, 11 inches long, 2 strips, and building up to it. Okay, so that's the cover. Oh, hang on, a little bit of glue coming up. Right. Okay. Next we need your inside piece, and I've chosen this creamy yellow one. I've already inked it. This time I use crumb cake to ink it. Now he actually is going to get embossed as well. Let me get myself sorted, and I'm going to do it roughly down about here. I've cut out a whole lot of these cute little portraits, I guess, and all that is some black cardstock and that lovely little framelit from the Spicadella Bash bundle, and I've used this frame here, and I cut it out with the Rocco Rose because I want a little bit of pink in my Halloween. Now can you see the glimmer, the gold glimmer? So that was just inked on with this new lovely gold metallic ink. Just amazing, I love it. So I guess pick your image. I'm not being too fussy because I've got a lot to do. And I won't glue him on, but I will just give myself a guide where I want to put that stamp. Have it the right way up. So I'm thinking I might have it about there. So again, I'll just clean him off. Place him there just so I can have a, excuse me. That's what happens when you do things on a movie. Okay. Clean him off. Okay, so then I will just go and heat that up. Okay, I'm back. So what I've got now is the inside of my book ready to go. Now with the inside of the box, I've used my 5.5 by 3 3/4 piece, and at the moment he's got a little bit of aging but not enough for me, so I'm going to screw him up. To a tight little ball. And while he's looking like that, open up my crumb cake and just give him a bit of roughen up. Okay. Now I'm also going to use this gorgeous, gorgeous gold. So metallic, so beautiful. I love it. It's very shimmery. And now I'm going to just flatten it out as much as I can. He's ready to go once my box is assembled. Oh, and I did forget to glue him in too. So these characters here were cut out from this page. And he was mounted up on some dimensionals. Alright, that's that. Now, it's not quite dry, so I might just go and dry him up a bit more. Okay, so now we just So once you've got your base of your book done, choose which way you want to have him up, and you can actually just glue him straight in. And I always put him up flush against this crease here, so when you close it, it's all tight. You can use double-sided tape, but glue's stronger. I don't want this little rascal coming off. Okay, let's see if I can do this without getting it too center. There we go. So that's your book. And I'm going to put this little piece inside. Some chocolates, treat, something, bit of a surprise. I am looking for something cute to go inside this little jar. I think that would look awesome with something in there. Cute little lollies. I'm yet to find anything small enough to fit. Okay, so this doesn't have to be perfectly flat. It's really just for a bit of interest as a background. Okay, and now with my invitation, this can be any size you want. I wanted to have a bit of space around, so mine was quite small, and all I did really was cut that 2/8 of an inch all around it. I've inked it, as you can see, and with the crumb cake, and I'll also give it a little bit of gold just to match in with everything else. And yeah, I'm being a bit generous with the glue today. Now, I have cut out some little bits here, all the cute little bottles and shapes, and I'm going to just put a few on my invite. If you actually stop and look at these pictures, they're all quite funny, and what they, like this one, stock of card, isn't that cute? They're all quite appropriate for us crafties. All right. So that's all ready to go into the book. Now I just found this fabric in my fabric box. It is fabric, but it looks like webbing, and I thought, well, this will do. You could use ribbon, Hessian ribbon, or anything you want. I just put it in there for a little bit of interest and texture. Oh, and that's what happens when you're too rough with your dauber. Okay, you can also just put it on your pad and give it a push. It's not a tidy exercise today. I'm getting myself inky and sticky and painty. Okay, and I did actually add a little bit of gold as well. So I bought these skeletons off eBay. They're never easy to find that ship to Australia. I find things are easily shipped to other places around the world, but Australia's tricky sometimes. But I was happy when I found him. I wrapped him up in his little shawl or his mummified wrap, and I bought a whole lot of bats. So he goes in, and I have to get more jars, but I used again one of those little jars from the DSP, and then just put some double-sided tape right around the jar and put some of this ribbon around just for a bit of interest. And he goes in there too. And then you tie him up and you've got your invitation book. That's all. Thanks for watching. Hope you have fun making one. Bye.